We're back out here at Sumnerville Cemetery in Sumnerville, Michigan. Mark was off looking for a certain grave, Civil War grave, and he just came back over. His walkie-talkie's dead. Been on charger all day long. We've been sitting here trying to communicate with the general's parents for 20 plus minutes.
Son of a this damn my flashlight just died.
When I turned around that last time and looked out between the tree line of the wood's edge and the last row of graves, it looked like something was moving right at me. Hey guys and gals, it's your buddy Drew with Living History's Mysteries and, well, paranormal mysteries. Of course, I'm out here with Mark. Alan is here, still visiting from England. We brought him on his very first investigation, hoping maybe to start a brand new hobby. He needs a hobby. But we're back out here at Sumnerville Cemetery in Sumnerville, Michigan. As you guys might remember, this was our very first investigation when we started doing the paranormal and the parahistorical almost 4 years ago. This place didn't fail then. I'm sure it's not going to fail now. When we did it before, we had zero equipment. All we had was our phones and a little bit of knowledge of what we were looking for. And now, between Mark and I think we're pretty set. Let's get to the history of this place.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark, with Drew at Living History's Mysteries. We are here at Sumnerville Cemetery. Like Drew says, this is our very first investigation we did 4 years ago. A little bit of history of this cemetery is one of the oldest ones here in Cass County. It started their plots around 1830. Just a little bit yonder over, we're going to be heading over there in a little bit, is the very first grave site of the very first person to be buried here in Sumnerville Cemetery. There is quite a few people here buried that has a lot of history. You got soldiers from the American Revolution, War of 1812, several from the Black Hawk War, Indian Wars, Civil War, in World War I, World War II, and also a lot of prominent key figures in the Cass County area, as well as, as a person that's buried here that shot and killed himself. So we're going to be going over to his plot later on. So with that being said, let's bring in the history. Standing next to me is the family plot of the Markham family. The father, Israel Markham, was the Revolutionary War veteran. Now his daughter, Emily Markham, was first to be buried in the cemetery. Fortunately, she only lived to be 7 to 8 months. She was buried in 1830. So you can tell how long ago, from 1830 all the way up to now, how many burial plots are in the cemetery. But Emily Markham was the very first person to be buried here in the cemetery. In between these two headstones here are the parents of Edmund and Nancy Albert. Their son, Ira Albert, was the brevet general that used to be the colonel of the 1st Michigan during the Civil War. 1st Michigan was in several key battles, like Fredericksburg, Chancellorsville, Wilderness, Gettysburg. Colonel Abbott was wounded severely in the head during the Battle of Fredericksburg. Fortunately, he survived. Went to Battle of Gettysburg, his unit was in the Battle of the Wheat Field, which everyone knows Wheat Field was a very turmoil, 30 acres of wheat during that battle. Sustained overall 30,000 casualties. He was one of them. He was wounded as well. Fortunately, again, he survived. And because of his wounds from Fredericksburg and Gettysburg, he became the brevet general and was general for the rest of the Civil War. Now, him being a general, he's not buried here. He is buried in Arlington National Cemetery. But we wanted to honor his parents. Also, I'll give you guys a brief history of what their son did during that time. Here we're standing next to the gravesite of Joseph Garwood. As you can see, his headstone is in really bad shape. It's pretty much half buried, covered. Very sad for what this guy served for his country, and sad to say this is what his gravesite looks like now. He served under the Michigan militia as a private in Gardner's Company 7. He fought during the Black Hawk War. His company was over in northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin area. Now, President Lincoln fought in the Black Hawk War as well, and he told several people that it was a friendly war. I would say it was not a friendly war, because if anyone wants to Google, go ahead and Google the Indian Creek Massacre, and you will, Lincoln will probably say different then, because that was one of the most violent battles during the Black Hawk War, and his unit was over there. But yeah. Early in the video, I mentioned about a person buried here that committed suicide or died of a self-inflicted wound. The gentleman here, his name is Francis Haas. He was 63 years old. In Howard Township, the coroner was acting as justice of the peace area during that time and found Haas's remains just lying on the ground. Pretty much his whole body was just all over the place. It's still a mystery to this day. They're still thinking, even like I said, it was a suicide or a self-inflicted wound. But other than Mr. Haas, he's the only one that can pretty much tell us what actually happened. But as of right now, it's a mystery. So, see what we can bring up tonight. This one's going to be an interesting one right here. Before we start the investigation, when Drew and I came out, we were in the height of a pandemic, COVID. Years and years ago, during 1918, 1920, the country has something similar to that. It's called the Spanish flu. since we were in the height of COVID, I thought I'd get some has done some research here in Cass County during the epidemic back then with the Spanish flu. Cass County had over 330 total deaths during that time. Population in 1918 was 21,416. 1917 deaths was 328, and in 1918 deaths during that year was 330. So a change of 1% during that time, during that ordeal. So not much. In this cemetery, there is 3 burials of people that died of the Spanish flu. So just thought I'd bring that out there, a small excerpt before we get to the investigation.
All right, you guys are gonna love this. We're getting everything set up, getting ready for it to finally get dark so we can start the investigation. Mark was off looking for a certain grave, Civil War grave, and he just came back over. His walkie-talkie's dead. Been on charger all day long.
Drew, is yours on? Because I've been hearing the same thing.
Full power.
That's odd.
Full power.
That is really odd.
We'll see what happens. All right, guys and gals, we're going to go on and get this started. It's dark enough. I'm starting out over here by the general's parents' graves. As you guys can see, I've got the K2 meter set up on the center monument. Here and back over on the furthest monument, I've got the laser grid. So anything that moves between these monuments that's above 4 feet tall is going to be picked up by that grid, and the alarm is going to sound off over on the receiver. Of course, you guys know how the K2 meter works. Anything that gets near it that has some type of a electromagnetic force to it is going to cause the lights to react. Let's check this out for a little bit. This time at the Brevet General's family's graves was completely uneventful. There was no activity detected for 11 minutes and 25 seconds, and then this happened. Chalk 2 up, guys. I just got ready to do a voice recording over here. Brand new batteries. Brand new batteries. Just put these batteries in, fresh out of the package, less than 2 hours ago. This thing is deader than hell. I'm getting nothing out of it. It is completely wiped.
Same thing?
Same thing, my voice recorder.
Oh, jeez.
Oh well. Time to go and play with something else then.
I just got so dark.
So dark?
Mm-hmm.
Not yet, it's not, but it's gonna get that way.
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say So dark, it's getting there. I just got the word thank.
Thank?
Thank.
Thank.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. I just got nightmare.
Nightmare?
Yeah.
What's a nightmare? Is death a nightmare?
What do you mean by nightmare?
Oh my God, this thing was fully charged an hour and a half ago. It's at 74%.
Right. Lifestyles. Was the lifestyles back then a nightmare? Because your son was in the Civil War and you didn't know if he was going to be living the day after day?
All right, is anybody here with us tonight? Anybody here around the general's parents' grave? I don't know if you can detect the radio waves. This is shooting through radio, which is a form of communication today, where voices and music is sent over the airwaves, but you can communicate through this device. I can tell someone's trying to communicate. I'm getting a scattered static. If you walk between these stones, those two red lights on either side will set off an alarm. They'll alert us that you're there. If anyone is here, this device in my hand
Got an extra phone or what?
Yep. All right, you guys aren't going to believe this. We've been sitting here trying to communicate with the general's parents for 20 plus minutes.
Son of a bitch. Damn, my flashlight just died. Something's out here that's not wanting us.
Something's definitely out here. It is hungry, whatever it is. So far, Mark lost his walkie-talkie. My number one recorder, my battery just died. The thing went from 100% to 2% in 20 minutes. Now his flashlight's dead.
New batteries too, and I just put these in this morning. Like I said, I had everything charged all morning.
Me too. We're going to hang out as long as we have batteries and devices to hang out with y'all. But I'm telling you, I told you before, this place was active 4 years ago.
Now that we have equipment here, I'm not sure if they still think they know us or whatever, or they remembered us and they're like, hey, I don't think we're wanted.
I don't think we're
welcomed
wanted
here.
either, which just makes me want to stay even more. Let's throw a little light on this subject so you guys can see me. I'm still going to roll through this as long as we can. As long as we can. But God only knows, because I've never even used this device to record with or do anything on. So we'll just have to see what happens. Okay, guys and gals, I moved away from the general's parents' graves. We're back over here at the first family to be buried here, to be buried here, to be buried here in Sumnerville Cemetery. We're going to try to communicate with them and hope and pray we don't lose any more devices. Park. Park. Are you referring to this place as a restful park? Or are you talking about our automobile that we parked not far from here?
Guys, don't touch that one.
Huh?
I'm telling you, guys, don't touch the car.
Oh, let's get back
Don't
safe.
touch the car. He's still paying on the car.
No, that's battery operated too.
Oh, shit.
I want to get safely back.
That's what I'm saying. Please don't touch the car.
See what I deal with? Would you like to speak to us? Would you like to tell us about yourself? Tell us about your history.
Israel, did you fight under George Washington during the Revolutionary War?
Far. I just got far. Let me reposition the camera. Whoa. Something just moved between the gravestones.
Which one?
Something just moved between you and the camera too. Still is.
It's not my shadow because I got my flashlight.
No, your flashlight, something's right. Quinn. Who is Quinn?
What the fuck was that?
What was what?
I heard something. Yeah, determined.
Determined.
That was creepy.
What did it sound like?
Ooh.
I was hearing something earlier before it got dark that was kind of weird. Guys, we're right on the edge of town. There's no farms. Our nearest farm is clear across the field over in this direction. There would be no livestock, no animals out right now anyway. The farmers, of course, you know, put the livestock up at night. We are right on the edge of town. Right here is Sumnerville. Something just moaned from that direction right behind Allen.
Nearest houses are about 50 yards from us.
Stab.
What do you mean by stab?
Who got stabbed? Who stabbed someone? Who do you want to stab? Okay, that was a dog.
I was going to say, that's definitely a dog, that one.
I think I might have dribbled a little bit on my leg.
Jesus.
I heard, oh, okay.
Definitely
Okay,
a dog.
okay.
That was a dog, yeah.
Yeah,
That was a dog.
definite dog. How come you said stab, then quit talking to us? Anything else? Tell us about the stab. Who do you want to stab? Who stabbed you? Who did you stab? That was weird. I don't know. I don't know. It's like I got brushed. Right here.
I got the word stuck.
Stuck?
Stuck.
Stab and stuck.
Got stabbed, you get straight be stuck inside you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that it would. Who's going to get stabbed? Who's going to stab? Who did stab? Check out of here. Go back over to
Still a dog.
You guys got silent. Why did you get silent? We're not here to judge anyone. We're not here to pass judgment. We're only here to learn your history and to provide proof to the world that life exists after death. If you could communicate with us, you could help us to show the world that your spirit lives on when your body passes. What was that?
What was that?
I just heard like a grumble, like a...
I didn't hear anything.
I didn't hear a darn thing.
All right. If you guys have done talking to us, we're going to move on. If you have anything else to say, you can say it to Mark's device that he's holding in his hand with the blue lights on it. Nothing?
Nothing.
All right, we're going to move on. Thank you for talking to us earlier. Rest well. I hope you found peace in death that you couldn't find in life.
Mr. Haas, I did an excerpt on you earlier of you killing yourself. Can you explain why you wanted to do that? Did something happen in your lifetime that made you want to self-inflict?
Mr. Haas, how did you take your life, sir?
We're terrible.
Terrible?
Terrible.
Insecurity. What were you insecure about, Mr. Haas? How did you take your life, sir? Did you take your life with a gun?
I got rim.
Rim?
Rim. Do you mean by rim fire? Rim fire cartridge? Is that what you're trying to say, sir? Rim fire? Deformed.
Hmm?
I said deformed.
Deformed?
Were you deformed, Mr. Haas? Is this the reason why you did what you did? Were you being made fun of because of this deformity? not here to judge.
No.
You got no judgment from us.
With all the sounds of sticks breaking and leaves shuffling all around us here on the western edge of the cemetery, our anxiety level starts to rise. Here in a moment, we start to become overcome with a very strong sadness, a very strong emotional connection to something. We can only believe that it's Mr. Haas and what he went through. Was that you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Haas, is there anything you'd like to talk to us about? About your life, lifestyle, why you wanted to do this? Shows on your headstone a father.
I'm getting nothing. I haven't got anything since insecurity. It's scanning. Mr. Haas, I'm going to put this little black box on your headstone. It might be easier for you to interact with it if I'm not holding it. I will watch it clearly though. Feel free to speak to it. It'll pull your words up and let us see what you're trying to say. Why did you take your life, sir? And how did you take it?
Earlier you mentioned deformed. Was that the reason? Mr. House, do you have anything?
You.
You.
What about me, sir? What about me, Mr. Haas? I'm sorry that life got so bad that you felt like you had to take your life. There's always some joy and happiness, especially when you're a father. I hope you found in death, sir, the peace you could not find in life.
He took his life.
Alan.
Oh, okay.
Different spelling, but Alan.
He took his life April 23rd. Today's the 24th.
So it's one day after the anniversary of your death. Sorry. I really am.
I don't know why I'm getting sadness in the.
I'm getting real emotional too.
I don't know. Usually I'm not that way in investigations.
Yeah,
with everything, even with soldiers, I really try to keep my mind open. Try to keep my mind open and everything. And this one's hard. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah. I can't.
Even the one that we went to at Silverbrook, the guy that killed himself in the cemetery, I didn't feel like what I'm getting right now.
I'm just like really. Maybe it's being a father myself. Maybe being a new father to you. You know, you're starting to feel that loss. I don't know. Whoa.
What do you got?
Some kind of something moving around right there. I'm standing right here. I'm looking in front of the camera. There's nothing in front of the camera, but I'm picking up an orb moving around the camera. It is too bloody. I mean, it's not a bug. Number one, it's too cold out here for bugs. And number two, there's nothing there. I'm looking at the front of the camera.
This one says no camera.
No camera?
No camera.
Holy hell.
This one says no camera. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I was starting to say, very good idea.
Okay, I just got high.
High?
High.
H-I or H-I-G-H?
H-I. High, like high. I want to say hi, I'm saying hi back. here. Is there anything you wish to say?
I got Alan again. Is this Alan trying to say hi? Up. Oh, that went all the way into the red. Up. Weird, I'm getting the voice, I'm getting the audio on this now. I haven't got the audio all evening long. What is up?
You want us to look up on something? Is there something over our heads that you want us to look up? Not liking that one.
Well, at least it didn't say look down. I'll take up. Up is usually happy and fluffy and clouds and angelic.
Yeah, we're right on top of trees.
Yeah, I know.
I was just thinking as well.
So I'm like, I'd rather be down than looking up and then seeing whatever. I mean, I'm not liking that.
Why do you wish us to look up? What do you mean up?
Yeah, that just got weirder. Surprisingly.
What?
Surprisingly.
Surprisingly?
Yeah. That.
Huh?
Not liking that one.
What?
Surprisingly.
Surprisingly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason all of a sudden I got prickly lost. Lost. Surprisingly, I'm getting prickles on the back of my neck right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
What is lost? Who is lost? All right, I don't know why, but for some reason I'm catching stuff out of my peripheral vision over here. Like something's moving between us and those lights over here. Blue. Back into the red. Blue as in the color blue, blue as in a blue sky, blue as in sad. What?
I got the word mom.
Mom?
Yeah.
We have no idea what this red ball is or where it come from, but here in just a moment, you'll see we get other activity from that direction.
Sure, I'm still not liking up and the surprisingly stuff.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about it either.
Sure, just letting you know I do have my gun out because I've never had this happen.
All right, you've never had it drawn at an investigation.
No, I got it drawn right now. I've not. Fade.
What?
I got the word fade.
Fade?
Fade.
Faith?
F-A-D-E.
What?
Fade. Like fade out.
Oh, fade. F-A-D-E.
Yep.
Are you European? Are you Potawatomi? I know this was all Potawatomi land at one time. And because of the white settlers, they called the Indiana military up and fired on you and pushed you north. Are you Potawatomi? By blue, do you mean sad? Angry? Watson. Watson. Watson.
What do you got, Drew?
I just turned around and looked up, and I swear to God somebody was walking towards me right there.
Alright. I just got the word rebel for some reason.
Rebel? Palmer. And that was full scale right there. Green to red. Okay, guys, between up, surprising, fade, we're moving away from this woods line. We're gonna move.
Let's get on it. Let's go.
Huh?
Let's go.
All right. We'll see what happens. That frick. Oh my God, that scared the hell out of me. All right, guys and gals, we got no clue what's going on around here. We were right over here at the far western edge, and you know, I don't. All I know is when I turned around that last time and looked out between the tree line of the wood's edge and the last row of graves, it looked like something was moving right at me. I have never had that experience before. So far, we have lost multiple devices, flashlights. Mark's picked up some very unusual words tonight. A total feeling of emotional encompassment that we've never got at an investigation before. I don't know what to make of it. It didn't seem this hostile 4 years ago, but something is definitely here. Something does not want to communicate, and something does not.
But at that time, we had nothing, so we couldn't tell if it was hostile or not. I mean, we had no equipment. We didn't know if anyone was around us trying to say something, and we were green as hell.
Oh, we were very green back then. Total greenhorns.
But now that we got stuff, we're picking up a lot of energy.
not to mention whatever I was picking up over here at Mr. Haas's grave. After we got done talking to him, I shut down everything, was getting ready to shut down the camera and move away, and that's when I noticed that orb moving all around right up on the camera, like it was trying to move the camera or push the camera. And I've never seen that. The closest we've come to that is way back last year when Tommy Tombstone and myself and Mindless Adventures Amy were out in South Bend on that very haunted little road, and Primrose Road, when that little purple orb was dancing on my camera lens.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people look at that, they still can't figure out what the hell that was.
I looked at it, I'm like, what the hell is this? That's totally unexplained.
But before we lose any other devices, and before Mr. Technology's EV car decides its battery wants to drain, we're going to get out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed this look back at Sumnerville Cemetery here in Sumnerville, Michigan. Hey Alan, what'd you think of your first ghost hunt?
Well, it was interesting, but I didn't feel the same things as you did, but I'm not as experienced as you guys. As you walkie-talkie.
Oh, thank you, bud. Speaking of which, I've not even looked at mine to see.
2 bars.
Yep, she's gone down. So, all right, guys, we're out of here. We'll catch you in haunted, or we'll catch you in history.
Please stay tuned to next following cemetery tours with us. I have been looking through some other interesting cemeteries coming up. There's a couple on the south side of Cass County that I've been looking. So stay tuned. This season's going to be interesting.
Yes, it is.